Good morning, friends. Still loudly. Good morning. Still loudly. Good morning. That's the good thing. There were no claps in the previous. Once again, please give a clap to Dr. Dubani. Friends, I am in the seventh heaven. I just came from Kundur, and before going to Kundur, when I landed at Coimbatore, there was a beautiful Nagaraj Murti over there. Again in Coimbatore, I visited Lord Murugan temple. Again the Shiva's family, the eldest son. Yesterday I saw again a Shiva temple over here, Jabukeshwar. So Shiva is constantly with me. Last night I opened the TV and our PM Modi says that on Chandrayaan also, the spot where it landed will be Shiva Shakti. And who called me over here? Nateshwar. Where is Nateshwar? Nateshwar is missing again. So wonderful. So continuously I feel Shiva Aham, Shiva Aham, Shiva Aham. And today I am going to talk to you on a very interesting subject. Kamasutra in current relevance. And what I am going to talk is what is Kamasutra? Who had written it? Who was he? Whether he was a debonair, where he wrote, how it came to the world, and what are the things written, and is it really relevant today? And at the onset, once again, our Natesh is here. Please give him and his team a big hand. Natesh, wonderful job you have done, and by giving me a chance to talk to you on a current relevance. Now, these are the things which I am going to cover within a shortest period. Now, before I start, as I said, Lord Shiva, Murugan, and also Sri Ganeshaya Namaha and Sri Kamadevaya. We Hindu had a Kamadev, a god of love. And after creating the world, Brahma, he thought that world should rule in a beautiful manner. So he gave 100,000 chapters, that is Adhyayas. Manu separated a part which is a dharma, Brahaspati separated which is artha, and Kama by Nandi. Nandi was an attendant of Lord Shiva. He saw Shiva and Parvati in a beautiful relationship for thousands of years. And what he saw and came out from his mouth like a flower is nothing but a Kamasutra. Now that got divided into 7 parts. And ultimately, the Vatsayana, he gave what is the cream of all those things to us today. Now who is this Vatsayana? These 7 authors who had separated out due to need of that time. So it was scattered. So Vatsayana combined all of them and gave us a Kama Sutra. And Yashodhara's Jai Mangala, this is a commentary in the 10th century of Kama Sutra. And he was staying in Banaras. He was a saint and Rishi. He observed, he studied, and then what he gave us is a Kama Sutra. Now, this is the prized possession of mine, 112 years old book. There are 1,250 slokas, 7 parts, 36 chapters, and it is written in Sanskrit. And I am sure all of you must have heard about Kama Sutra. Some of you must have seen it. Very few must have read it. But all of you at one or other time practice some part of a Kama Sutra. So let's try to see what were the things were there. Now Kama Sutra is aphorism of love. It's whatever has been said is a sutra. So Kama will tell what it is and Sutra means aphorism. It was written by Malanatha Vatsayana. That's all we know about Vatsayana till today. And again on the right side you see Sir Richard Budd, a Britishers who gave it to the world. Otherwise it would not have come. He was translating a book called Anangaranga and he found that there was a Vatsa's name coming again and again. He said, who is this Vatsa? Then he saw the Jaimangal Tika. And ultimately, what he did, that got the manuscript from Banaras, Jaipur, Madras, and Calcutta. Sir Richard Burton and F.F. Arithmonaut, they both translated it with the help of Pandit and the translator, and what is available to us today. All credit goes to Sir Richard Burton. 1883, Kamasutra, Hindu Society of London and Banaras. It's a Hindu society. All the world you go, there is no parallel book like Kamasutra, I can tell you. And this was written in a very beautiful way. What did Sir Richard Burton do? He was a poet, he was a writer, he was an explorer, he was a translator, he was a diplomat, he was a soldier. What Vikram and Vaital you see today, or Arabian Nights, this all has come because of Sir Richard Burton. So in the same breath, when I salute Vatsayana, same way I said about the Richard Burton. Now, Kamasutra. The first thing comes to all of your mind is sexual position, and sexual position. Nothing beyond that. A Japanese company came to me and they wanted to make a film on it. And what they thought that today I've done at 22nd position, tomorrow 44, and again 3rd and again 7th. Fortunately, it never took. And I'm really happy that Kamasutra is not sexual position, much beyond that. It's a scientific text. Hindus believe whatever you want to do it, if it is worth doing it, do it in the best way. So there are Dharma Shastra, Artha Shastra, Natya Shastra, Kabul Shastra, Niti Shastra, and other Shastra. It's a science, it is just not a simple book like that. And you will be surprised to see Hoka Shastra, Anangaranga, Panchasayika. I could get 44 books on the subject of camp. So you can imagine it was just not somebody thought that let me have some erotic feelings and write something. A pure science, written 380, and till today we are talking about it. Look at your phone. Within 3 months it will be outdated. Our landline, typewriter, camera, radio, also if you see the tape recorder and puja which we used to do of Chopra, everything has become not relevant. So how? Yes, you rightly heard, 380 means around 2000 years back, which was written, and how it is relevant to us today. And let's try to see. You go to any bookstore, at least you will find one book on it. And there are pictures, and pictures, and pictures. The real Kama Sutra is very, very difficult to read it. Now if you see those pictures, I can tell you, I have got a smallest book of 2 inch by 1.5 inch. And the longest book is 2 feet by 1.5 feet. And I have got not less than 30 collection, and now I have stopped buying it. Every time you go, there is a new edition coming up over there. First, I presented in 1983, Kama Sutra, ancient yet modern. Every time, like a sea driver, I go inside the sea. I open Kama Sutra. Every time I have to read, I open and I find that there are pearls. And what pearls are there, which I am giving you today, is sex and Kama are same. People are confused. They think sex and Kama are the same. No, friends. When we say sex, it means male, female, genitals, love making, sex act, sexual intercourse, vaginal anal penetration, and sexual relationships. While when we say the word Kama, there is no parallel word in English. Kama is the delight of body, mind, and soul in an exquisite sensation. Awakens eyes, nose, tongue, ear, and skin. And between sense and sense, the essence of Kama will come. So all 5 senses, if they are together and if it gives you pleasure, that is Kama. And last night you have seen when you were drinking, you say cheers. You are seeing with the eyes, you are smelling it, you are tasting it, and when you say cheers, it comes to the head. That is also Kama. So Kama is something different than what is sex. It is a catalog of sexual positions? Friends, no. There are 7 parts. General remarks, sexual union, acquisition of wife, about wife, wives of other men, courtesan, and remedy for the sexual problem. out of 7, only one part is a sexual position, sexual union. Now, it talks about human desire, intimacy, and relationship. It talks about shringar. It talks about 64 hours. It talks about music, dance, and other things, what we see a grooming of a person. It talks about how to write a letter and how to make the beds. It talks about the daily life of a female and a male. It talks about the festivals like Vana Mahotsav, Sharadotsav, Dipotsavi, Holi, and other things. It talks about so many things. Ambarnath temple, when I was doing an erotic art exhibition, I went, it is 60 kilometers away from Bombay. 11th century, and what I saw over there's a ling and yoni inside the temple. A couple who came there, prayed over there, and came out. They were recently married. And when they were moving around, and they were beautiful sexual postures, erotic sculptures, and they were watching. So we had taken a sex to the warmth of the temple. And these were the first sex education galleries on the earth. That's what I feel. A physician without the knowledge of herbs, an accountant without the knowledge of figures, and a married man without the knowledge of sexual unions are all worthless creatures. And that is what Vatsayana said, age is bad. So what we are talking about sex education, he has given the importance in 380. He has classified ling and yoni, 3 different types of, not further, but how to be compatible with each other. First night failure. This is the book which I had written and I had edited. There are performance anxiety, fear of failure, spectator roles, and myths and misconceptions. And I said 30% of the people who fail on the first time. And if you read Kamasutra, the Suhagra, which has been glorified in the past, the first night, the woman is supposed to show that her virginity, and the man is supposed to show his manliness. And most of the time, they go on going for till the next year when the fertility problem comes, they come to a sexologist like us. What does Kama Sutra writes? He said, whenever you are meeting in olden days, they have never met each other. So first time we are meeting, just try to be with each other. Try to talk to each other. Sleep separately for at least 3 to 4 nights. Take a simple food. Go around for the party. And on 8th, 9th or 10th day, in the evening, when sun is about to set, it's a beautiful atmosphere. Birds are chirping, and the small, the light breeze is coming. And you go into nearby pond. And with the wet body, when you touch each other, the karma will spark. And that is the way, if you do it, there should not be any sexual problem. Is Kama Sutra describes sexual position? I say yes, yes, and yes. It talks about so many things which we have forgotten. Alingan. First of all, I would like to know what is the time I have. Because I was given 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
So today 15. So 15 will get over now. Because I have been given 30 minutes. So 64 positions we have forgotten so many. Alingan, embrace. How do you do? He has said, just while going and touching somebody, that itself can be an alingan. If man is sitting and woman comes from behind and she presses with the breast, that is alingan. If somebody is climbing on the road, if the female is climbing on the male, that is alingan. Or like a creeper, she goes around people, that is alingan. In a milk and water, if you mix together, you can't find which is male and which is female, that is alingan. You take a rice and see some, try to mix it, you can see each other. 8 different varieties of alingan were shown. 8 different varieties of kissings were shown. 8 different making the mark with the nail. Today we are away from our friend or lover. She said, where are you? Take a selfie and show me. Make a video call and you remember each other. Can you imagine 380 what will happen, how they remember? Nail mark. With a nail you try to mark them. And it can be like again, Chandrayaan comes, okay, small moon, full moon, claw of a land, a lotus leaf, lotus flowers. So when he is not there, she looks at it on her breast and other things. She remembers. Love bites, Danta Darshan. I had only seen one case in my lifetime of last 14 years. On the Navratri day, he kissed his wife, not wife, his her friend, and then she made a complete all 30, 50 sweats. So Danta Darshan. Then united asanas. then Prahar and Sitkar, and above position. Can you imagine? Today also I find some of the people of North, they don't like their wives to be on the top. How can it be so? But that's the best position, she will get a lot of satisfaction. It's in direct, continuous stimulation with the clitoris and oral congress, that is Mukhumaithu. So all those things have been shown. Multiplied them by 8 times. So totally 64 varieties of asanas have been shown. Now out of them 4 which we see, embracing, kissing, marking with nail and teeth, we have forgotten the art of foreplay. Man, when he is ready, he wakes up the wife, just she is supposed to serve him. He finishes his act, the moment he ejaculates, he reaches the orgasm. He is not bothered what happens to her. He turns on another side and goes to sleep. So the master person, like Vatsayana, has thought about it, that women, she should be thought first. And this 64 asana and position which were given, what it will do, it will break the monotony. And what is the happen? If you go on eating everyday rice, what will happen? You'll get tired. So rice, curd rice, lemon rice, coconut rice, pulao, biryani, khichdi, pongal. So the same thing, ingredient may be same, but you will have a different things. So in the era of HIV/AIDS, many postures with one is better than one with many. Now I see lot of, that 7 years each, lot of people, their life becomes monotonous. Sex becomes Saturday night program, or if there is a holiday, it's just asking the partner to be there, no foreplay, enter, ejaculate and finish it. While he says, it should be like when you are entering a temple, take a bath, hygiene is very important. Go inside the temple with a pure mind, leave everything, your worries and stress, everything. And then you see that it is a sambhoga. Both the people should be enjoyed and not the one person. Fantasy. Beautiful things, you know. Nowadays, those people who have a low testosterone, I tell them to see that if they can fantasize. The fantasy is the most, first the fantasy comes, and then the thought comes, and then the behavior will come, and then the act will come. You can see 2 pictures. What is happening? One side he is doing shikar, hunting, and they are in a sexual position. So concentration. Maybe he will be able to prolong the ejaculation for a long time. Other is a wild fantasy. When I presented as exhibition erotica, I had shown that on a zula, male and female, they are having copulating. One side if it goes up, the female gets enjoyment. Other side goes other side, the male gets enjoyment. On a camel, sitting both of them and having sex face to face. You see the camel moving. That movement is being taken into this. Vatsayana is given 2000 years back. What we are talking about, female equality, gender equality, respect to the female. He has said that she should come first. And when she can read it on herself, she can ask her senior sister to teach her, a mausi to teach her, a senior servant who is there, female servant. And last but not least, in some of the cases, Nagar Vadhu means the prostitute or the courtesan, she can come and teach. I had gone to Udaipur Palace and I saw the queens, and the Rajkumari, she was being taught with the dildo how to have sex. And that picture was there, ages back. Now this is hold on. A beautiful picture from the Khajuraho, which is in front of my book. On the center you see there is an orgy going on, different types of sex. And they require some, sex tonic or aphrodisiac. And you see in the center, there is a pondering is happening. He thought of Vaji Karan. Vaji means Ashwa, and Karan means with the force, like a stallion, horse force, horsepower you go. And that Vaji Karan was prepared from either Vanaspati Janya, that is from the herbs, Prani Janya, that is from the animal product, and last Khanij, that is mineral. So all those things are there. He had given a beautiful remedies, but I warn you, don't follow those remedies. The concepts are very good, that you need something, because during those days, king had a 100, 200, 300 queens or begums. How do they manage? So it was a big science there. But what was there, it may not be applicable today, but the concept itself are very, very beautiful. How to, today only there is a topic on, size of penis, people are worried. So they said bristles of the some of the insect or some root or other thing, when it is applied, the penis enlarges and becomes swollen up. On the other side, contraction of a UV, some leaves, some bark of the trees or other thing, when you mix them together and make a paste out of it and apply inside the vagina, it will contract like that of a virgin. Now, today what we are thinking about cosmetic surgery and other things, I think he had that concept. And it's a challenge to the pharmaceutical industry that you can prepare some ointment like this, apply to the vagina, and it will become again a contract. Because after 1 or 2 deliveries through vagina, I know, man does not enjoy it, or women does not enjoy it, and then they start getting it's a boring and let's stop it. That is what is happening. So, what sort of apadrava? The meaning in Sanskrit is like a dildo. They were made up of wood, they were made up of horns of animals, they were made up of ivory, they were made up of silver, gold, and whatnot. So to enjoy, if the things are not there, this could be done. And if this does not work, he has said about the Mukha. Man who is tired, who is diabetes, who is aging, for them, the elderly people, Mukha gives them a great pleasure. Now, apart from this sexual aspect, what Kamasutra has done? If you see our classic like Meghdut, Abhigyan Shakuntal, Kumar Sambhav, Geet Govind. I had presented in 1986 a paper on the Geet Govind, a blend of erotology and sexology at Heidelberg. And I tell you, it's so beautifully Krishna and Radha's relation has been shown. This is all has been taken. The thoughts have come from Kamasutra. Go to Khajuraho. I'll request all of you at least 1 winter you go. Take out 3 days from your life and you'll be in the 7th heaven. Get a good guide over there. If they are not there, tell me, I'll come and explain you. Beautiful sculptures. Konark, Bhubaneswar. And let me tell you, today I go all around India. And yesterday in some of the temple I could see some of the big sculptures which were erotic. If not Maithun, it is Mithun even. So all those things are there and they all have derived in the 10th century, right from the Kama Sutra which was there. The first ever exhibition on Indian erotic art, 1985 I have done it. It's the second in the international erotic art, but the first one of the Indian erotic art in Taj Palace in 3,000 square feet area, 19 cubicles. And right from the Vedic period till the Britishers left India, how it was seen in sculptures, paintings, manuscripts, and day-to-day objects. See on the right side, betel nut cracker. You put a sopari, betel nut, and try to crack it. And when it is divided, the male and female body comes together. There were pen, there were ink pot, there were glasses. They were made up of comb. They were all made up of erotic. So sex was a very much part of our life. It was not a taboo subject. Who attended this? When I was showing them, Pandit Ravi Shankar, Vasant Satek, who was the minister, he was there, and many other things. And on the left side, with the blue tie, is John Money, one of the best sexologists, and Prakash Kothari was there. And John Mali, after seeing this, he said, I cannot imagine India has so much of rich culture on the erotic art. Right side, you see his phallic symbol, gold ring was there, he presented to me, and it is my prized possession. So what I am trying to tell you, that till today, we derive so many things from Kama Sutra. Velmutsav, Kama Sutra by Meera Nair, again tells us about the same thing. Is Kama relevant today? The question which I asked was, is it relevant today? Yes. In a stressed life, we are running, sex has become mechanical, it has become virtual, you do it on the texting and all those things, and porn, I get many cases with the porn. This has created a big problem over here. Masters and Johnson's Sunset Focus and Helen Kaplan's Pleasant Session. It is nothing but I would say, if you see, the concept was already there in the Kama Sutra. The whole idea is sunset focus. They could not use the word sex in the 1970. So they had to use word sunset. And what is sunset? That each one of us sitting over here has some erotic zones, where you touch, the person will, feel go to the 7th heaven. Now those you have to find it out. So it's the enjoyment with the 5 senses. And in the initial I said Kama. When 5 senses enjoys any object, that is the Kama. It is the sensuality. not the sexuality. And what they started, the recent treatment of sense and focus, I have converted into sex exercise, Indian perspective. You cannot ask, they were dual therapy, I do a single therapy. You cannot ask the couple to live for 5 days, their home, office and everything, and come for 15 days in a secluded area like a resort, no phones, nothing, no office, no home. So I have totally converted into a sex exercise. It is nothing but a sensuous pleasure. What people have forgotten, it has to be restarted. So what they have learned, you de-learn them and relearn them. It's again after doing a PhD, going back or reconstructing or redesigning the whole thing. I tell you, it's the most beautiful experience which enhances the sexual life and takes away the monotony. And I conduct a lot of workshops. And last I conducted was 18 hours in Pune just before the HIV/AIDS. Now, what does Kamasutra teach? It teaches us about love. Each word is important. Courtship, acquiring a wife, seduction technique. We have forgotten seduction technique. Sexual position, no monotony. Marital harmony. It talks about extramarital affairs, and now I fear that there is not going to be a marriage institution in next 10 or 15 years. In city like Bombay, it is breaking every day now. Living relationship, divorces. Our whole, family court are flooded with the divorces. People have lost that faith in each other, trust in each other, relationship in each other. It talks about aphrodisia, pleasure, and the spiritual dimension. Sexual health, which has been given a lot of importance now. It talks about sex education, and in this country, I have been in charge of SECRT, Sexuality Education Council, Research, Therapy and Training, 44 centers across the country have got. And there is no single formula which you can teach everybody. You have to, at every place you go and find out what is the local milieu and how is the religion, how are the customs, and on that you have to do it. So sex education is important. Sex dynamics is important. Lust, flirtation. Flirt with your wife. When was the last time you commented or gave her a compliment? You know what sari she likes, what color that, but have you ever asked in sex what she likes? Go and ask your partner. And you'll be surprised. She knows in the morning you like a double egg, single egg omelette, you like bread butter, you like dosas, other things. So this is very important. Compatibility, sexual health, 1975. WHO declares that sexual health. Varsan has said, age is back. Sexual health is a very, very important and integral part of every one of us. Hygiene. I see many patients smelling from the teeth, alcohol, pan, smelling from perspiration, smelling their socks, and they don't like partner. They can't tell that you are not taking a bath. Monotony, as I told you, sexual power and consent. 4th of September, everybody should go and try to celebrate wherever you are, even the small things. Talk to 5 people. It's a sexual health day, which has been declared by VAS, and this year theme is consent. So what VASAN gives importance to the consent. Consent is the most important part. You cannot just take anybody by force. It teaches us relationship, intimacy, choices, communication, gender equality, non-judgmental, and the most important part is a respect to your partner. 2 years back I was in Japan. We had about 3 hours while going, we played Antakshari. While coming back, they found that I'm a sexologist. We would like to ask you a question, and I answered for 3 hours. Ultimately, I asked all the women, there were 30 women, can you tell me one thing what you want from your husband? None of them said diamond or car or anything. They said we want respect. So learn this thing, forget everything and carry home this one message. And it's a sensuality, not the sexuality. It is not the intercourse. Yet by all the close bond, you can make other person to the 7th heaven. Love is the essence of life. Love is the fragrance of life, and sex is the summit of life. This is the story of civilization. This is the story of creation, Brahmaraj. And this is the masterpiece by the great Vatsaya. I had gone to Morocco, and they were making on a potter's they were making small pots and designs. And once the hand moves, they move any shape. So what he says, once the potter's will is on, forget about science, forget about everything, forget about what Vasan says. If 2 consenting adults in a close atmosphere privacy, if they want to enhance their sexuality without harming, without coercion, it is the most beautiful thing on the earth, and that can take them to a seventh heaven, friends. So, is Kama Sutra relevant? I say it is Shashvat, it is eternal, so long as the lips shall kiss, and eyes shall see, and so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. जब तक सूरज चांद रहेगा, तब तक कामसूत्र अमर रहेगा. Thank you very much, friends. Completed in time. I'm happy.
Thank you, Raj.
Because I could speak for a whole day. I know. But I could do it. Because my wife is sitting here. She is also time master. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah. Sir, how to incorporate your practice in the medical education? The problem, as you said, right, is that the divorce rate is going up. Even
Excellent question. I can tell you, sex education does not mean going to the school, colleges and one curriculum. Even at your home is the best university of sex. The moment some kissing scene comes, we switch off the TV. So children know that what is there. The one child said, Papa, Mommy, that scene is gone, now start again. One of my urologist friend from Bombay, his phone has been taken by daughter. She is 19 years. He said, don't read the messages. She said, Papa, I have read, they are all 3 years old. And my grandson, he is right now in junior KG, they know. And with the porn, more problem comes with the Google gurus. So I say sex education is the need of the day. And there we don't teach sexual position. Just to give you an example, every time it will be different. I went to, again 30 years back, Hyderabad. Morning again, my friend sitting is here, Muslim college was there. And they were all in burqas. And I said, how to break the ice, how to make them talk. I said, can I talk to you one thing, that you will get arranged marriage or love marriage? Nobody answered. Same city in the evening, 9th standard, it was HIV AIDS days. So 9th standard, a convent school I went, and one girl said, sir, if I have an oral sex, do you think I'll get pregnant? Or I will get HIV AIDS? So at each and every place. And I wish, if you can, any of you will have time, October 1, 6, 7, 8, at Ahmedabad, I have been given one of the most prestigious award of Hawa by Vadia. I'll be talking on my experiences, and my experiments on sexuality education. So you can come there. Very important question. And right from the time when the loop came, if you remember, during unfortunately Sanjay Gandhi's time, from that time nobody wants to talk about sex because they think that whole government can be taught. Okay.
Sexual education incorporated the medical education in the undergraduate.
I say no, not only forget about medical. When you are teaching, suppose I'm teaching you, I'm a geography teacher, I'm teaching you about Khajuraho. And when I say Madhya Pradesh Khajuraho, I'll talk about erotic art. When I'm reading a newspaper and say there was a rape or Nirbhaya case happened, I'll take up that topic. What do you think about it? And the beautiful experiment is done by none other than Dan Panthaki. There's a human sexuality, which I was one of the instrumental in working. Please take that, and it will give you all your answers. Right? Last question.
I call you Professor Doctor of Kama Sutra. I bought this book about 20 years ago, and it's only before coming for this conference, I was reading the preface and the contents. And first time I understood the meaning of Kama, which you have explained very nicely. And the second is Dharma and Artha. Now the question is, this book is showing all the pictures where there are multiple females, not a single male and female. Is it a book referred to the royals, not the ordinary people?
I said, no, I showed you my 112 years book. If you go to read, you will curse me. It is not the way which I have made it easy, it is very pleasant to you. But if you try to read it with Sanskrit word, it's a very, very difficult things to read. But till today, every time I read, even yesterday I have brought and it is in my book, I was trying to read today morning that if I get something new, I will talk. So the thing is, what you see those books, they are just commercial books. Please don't follow. If you want to read something very authentic, it is by S.C. Upadhyay from Mumbai and Bharti Video. Please.
What I have is a very expensive copy of Kama Sutra. My question is that is this a message for the royals or the people who can afford all these things, or for common people?
My dear friend, the royals, if you see, I see the most aristocratic, and I being in the Bombay and in a Bollywood area, plenty of people, actresses, richest people, 200 crores, 300 crores, they have not touched their partner for ages. And just to give you last example, Sun City, which was, when this beauty contest was there, one couple had gone there, 3 weeks they were there. And what they did in the evening, he take a beer and go to sleep. And problems are very simple, which today in the afternoon, all of them are lined up, so I'm not touching that. Just on a myth of masturbation, lakhs of people's life have been destroyed. So what we need to do is actually, the simplest thing to all of you, whenever your son buddy comes to you, say that I'm getting married, uncle, you first say, well, I never knew anything about sex. But if you have any question, please feel to ask me. And if I have no answer, I will ask somebody and I'll let you know. I think that will be the best message I'm giving you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I request the chairperson to felicitate the speaker.
He is another senior most person. We have worked together for ages. Amazing person. Please give him a big hand.
Please felicitate them, sir.
He was there at the Hyderabad with me in 1986. And lastly,
Thank you, sir.
now before I go, Natesh, this is the book which I was talking. 44 people have given this, written about the editorial board. Dr. J.V. Bhatt, V.C. Prabhu, Narayan Reddy, P.S.S. Rao and M. Srivasan had edited even. Dr. B. Coste. This is pre-Viagra era. How we have struggled. What was available to us? Only testosterone. Some those silver tablets, as you know, which company, and those things which we were using at and alcohol, cocaine, marijuana, Spanish fly, lizard oil, horns of animals, sandia chakti, and palak tot pan. By eating that pan, you become, you can break. So those were real. So this is a rare book. I have photocopied, and I would like to present none other than Dr. Natesh. And what I have written for you, you must follow it up. You have already started doing it. Dear Dr. Natesh Prabhu, now it is your turn to carry the baton. Go forth and spread the message of sexual awareness. And this is for all of you. We are seniors.